thought we were friends.
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted episode 207. See, don't faze me, Billy. I'm professional. Coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, then we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. I am, of course, your host, Bison. And today I am joined by the man coming to us from the void of his own mind, of course, the Joker. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm not bad. A little bit, gutted.
Winter's here. It's terrible.
Well, I've just gutted. Craig's not with us again this week. I know he's unwell.
Yeah.
Bless his socks. He had a trip. Did he to Amsterdam or something? I believe.
Yeah. He went to Amsterdam over the weekend.
That's right, and I still don't think he's recovered. It's taken him a few days. He's definitely done it, I think. So all that fun and free love, I'm sure, going on over in Amsterdam. He's been having a great time over there. But what about your week, Joe? Since obviously last Wednesday, what have you been up to?
Oh, I beat broken the 100 subscriber mark on YouTube. So for everyone that's listening who follows me on YouTube, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I put a poll up now for what you guys want me to do to thank you for it. I've got the option to go through Rage 2 in Iron Man mode, which is go start to finish without dying. And because if you die, you start all over again from scratch. There's no saves or anything. It's to review one of the main games I've put up there, the Rage 2 or Doom 3. Right. There is to go through bring forward a project I've got planned next year, which is to go through Doom 64 and play that from start to finish. Or there is a Fallout New Vegas challenge, which I get you guys to give me a set of stipulations, and I'll go through Fallout New Vegas from start to finish under those terms and conditions.
Well, there we go. I mean, what a week Joe's had, and hitting 100 likes, which is for his new channel, which I think is your first milestone. We need to get to 200, and eventually we need to hit those thousands, don't we?
Oh, it's not about the views. I appreciate all the views, subscriptions, and that. It's just me doing. It's just an idiot posting stuff and killing time, hopefully making people have a laugh with the daily giggle when they do come out. And when my brain's not completely fried from everything else. Fair
play. Joe loves his gaming. That's the thing. He does love his gaming. I reckon you should do some commentary on wrestling matches.
I've been tempted. That's one of the reasons why I've put a review up, because I'm not comfortable talking. So if I can do a review and do that well, then commentary and stuff like that is something I might try and do a bit more of. But at the moment, all the videos are just silent playthroughs of me doing stuff.
But it would be good. I mean, the thing is, the beauty about like doing videos rather than going live is you can at least sort of kind of almost cut and paste, if you know what I mean.
I do.
You could chop it around a little bit, can't you? You can play around.
It's like I just hate the sound of my voice. This is like that when we spoke to Jake Crystal years ago, and he's going about how he wasn't comfortable about doing promos and stuff. You know, he just doesn't like the sound of his voice. He didn't then. That's how I feel all the time. I find it. I've not watched back some of the interviews. The interview I did with Diana Perazzo, God knows how, about 2 or 3 years ago. That's that. That
was the day you gave up interviewing, right?
No, I didn't give up. No, it was a fantastic bloody opportunity. It just didn't go as well. That's due to.
I think when you start doing stuff like that, though, you don't really realize actually how hard it is. It's not. Not when you're interviewing someone, especially when you've got like a one take, like you've got one, right? Now, a lot of the ones that I do with like if I was to go and record an interview with someone that that I've got 35, 40, 50 minutes with, then there's bits I can chop and change. I could chop stuff out if it didn't quite work out, or I was I was struggling with my words or whatever. I can cut stuff like that out. But when you've got like this one take
Yeah, it's the pressure is intense.
You know, you've got 18 minutes to do everything you need to do with this talent that you've got in front of you, and then once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of it's difficult. It is. It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it wasn't easy when everybody else was changing trying to chop and change what me and Steve were going to be asking her as well, which didn't help either.
Right. So you were being micromanaged in the background, were you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So and then the whole pressure of knowing that we had like 20 minutes. I just couldn't concentrate, but it went okay. It was great to talk to her, you know, and that's the main thing. I got the chance to speak to. I got the opportunity. I just didn't do it very well.
Mate, as I said, it's not easy. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's one of them. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. I enjoy them. I do enjoy doing interviews. I must admit, it's a cool experience. But I am so like prepared every time I do it.
Yeah.
That you know, I make sure that you know I'm pristine all the way through. Sometimes I get a little bit thrown because sometimes they give you more of an answer than you expect.
Yeah.
Out of a question that you think is a little bit throwaway, but actually turns out they've got a lot to say on that particular subject, and then it throws you a little bit. And it certainly throws out your, you know, because you think, oh, you know, I've got 8 or 9 questions here, and then they go crazy on one that you didn't expect them to go crazy on, and all of a sudden, I've only actually managed to get through 6 questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's it's not easy. It's not easy. Can I just say a quick hello to Mir, because Mir's obviously joined us, and of course Eric. Very nice to see you guys. You always get in from the top of the show, which is much appreciated. If of course you are there, guys, don't forget to say hello. We do like to greet everybody as they come in, and yeah, we appreciate everything that you guys add to the show. It makes the show better. So the more that you guys kind of contribute, I'm not necessarily going to see every single thing that you guys post, but I will do my best to try and see what you're saying, and if it's relevant to the conversation at that moment, I will obviously try and address it, or Joe will pop it up, or it will certainly get mentioned. Anyway, let's get slap into the news and the rumours. We have got obviously an Impact recap of the week this week, which is good to see as well. So, you know, will we be seeing anyone special turning up at Genesis in January? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Joe? And what are your thoughts in the chat? What are your thoughts in the chat?
Oh, God, I'm hoping because we've seen Jada Stone and Maggie Moore so frequently. I'm hoping one of them two is going to get signed, and I would love to see Harley Hudson come up as well.
Yeah, Harley's been doing some great stuff.
She's done 150 matches this year alone, and she's been absolutely killing it on the UK independent scene at the moment. It's amazing what she's done. I've watched a couple of her matches. She's absolutely incredible. So I really hope they bring her forward.
It would be good. It would be good. The only trouble is, what you have to remember is that Harley didn't win a TNA contract. What she won
was gut check.
Was the gut check and the opportunity to train at the Can-Am dojo in Canada. That's what she won. So it didn't mean that we were going to see her on TNA.
I know.
But
I hope that she's still got everyone in their sights, or she's in everyone's sights still, because she's someone that I really would love to see come through.
I would certainly like to think that Gail Kim is keeping her eye on Harley Hudson, I would imagine. Yeah, definitely. But in terms of availability at the moment, there's not a massive amount of sort of kind of big star power out there. It'd be nice to see, I think, Mustafa Ali make a return.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling that he will be back in 2025.
I have no doubt.
I think it would be interesting if someone like a Baron Corbin turned up. He's a great heel. So, you know, imagine him turning up to take on Joe Hendry or something like that.
Yeah.
Get that, you know, because I think at the moment that is what Joe needs. He needs a load of good heels to come in and really push Joe as a babyface. I think that would work really, really well. And we had this discussion actually over the last couple of days on X with a few people. I did put it up there. Do you think we're going to see anybody new at Genesis? And I also believe that when you think about the likes of Josh Alexander, Jordynne Grace, obviously now Mike Bailey. We'll get to Mike Bailey in a second. Obviously, Mike Bailey's gone from TNA now. He's finished up with TNA. These are all pretty big names or pretty big people that should be looking to go. I would imagine. But I mean, there's lots of people that are could potentially take those spots. So I mean, like we were talking about Mustafa Ali, for instance. Yeah. Mustafa Ali to replace Mike Bailey, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike Bailey is an incredible in-ring. If you want to see a great match, you're going to get a great match out of Mike Bailey every single time. But he's not great when it comes to the mic. He's still not good at that. Promo and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know why, but they didn't really seem to get him into much story. So, but Mustafa Ali, amazing in the ring. He's got great on the mic, full of. He's got everything. That's what I'm saying. His drawer is full. You know what I'm saying? And I think if he came in and as a replacement for Mike Bailey,
I would love to see him and Santana go try and outdo each other in promos and stuff, because they would be on fire.
I have to say that would be an amazing. That would be, I'd say that TNA coming off on the better end there. If that's what they ended up with, that would be amazing. I think that's a win-win in all.
Yeah, Summer agrees too.
Summer says that too. So I think that would be amazing. Now, if Josh Alexander decided to move on, because again, we don't know that yet. We know that Scott D'Amore, who is actually his agent, was seen at the WWE Performance Center last week, I believe. So there's no speculation that possibly Josh is heading to WWE NXT. They're talking about, they're talking about potentially, him and Ethan Page hooking up, so we might see a North reunion over at NXT, that sort of stuff. So there's loads of speculation out there at the moment on what's going on with him. Obviously, he recently is retiring. The last couple of days has announced his retirement from independent wrestling, and of course, like you say, with his TNA contract coming up at the end of February. Obviously, there's so much speculation out there now. It's going to be, where's Josh Alexander going? Could you imagine if he didn't go anywhere and he did stay with TNA? That would be
that
awesome.
Crossed my mind as I was sitting here waiting for you. It's just like, what if he's doing what Moose is doing? Although Moose is sort of going on the independent scene. What if Josh just is sticking with TNA to see it out for like the next 5 or 6 years, and then in his career here? That would be incredible. That's Moose is basically doing that and taking independent dates, but he's not all over the place as it is as an independent wrestler, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the most Moose has gone elsewhere is mostly to like Wrestling Revolver and places like that. So where he knows everybody still, and that are all close knit. Josh Alexander could do the same, but even then he just sticks there as his TNA guy. But I think I could see him go to WWE, which would make the most sense given that he's not taking independent bookings. So while Mike Bailey is probably going to go to AEW.
Well, that's a speculation. That is a speculation. But, he has been very vocal in expressing his interest to actually go to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, that would be a better fit for him.
He wants to test himself over there, and I would agree. I think New Japan is a better fit for Mike Bailey. And,
much better fit for him.
I think he'd be amazing over there. But again, there would be probably some great matches from Mike over at AEW as well. I mean, you could get that. We could get a reunion match between him and Will Ospreay, of course.
And then all the momentum will disappear in about 2 or 3 weeks. What's Will Ospreay done recently? He's not even on not even on the card for Full Gear or whatever the last event was. Big event there. But if Mike Bailey goes to Japan, that's something that a lot of people haven't really paid attention to. But Bailey said he wants to go to Japan. That's fantastic. And either way, AEW or New Japan is the best place for him to maintain being an international star.
Potentially, yes. Now, Somerset Simon's just put up there. He's talking about the retirement of Josh Alexander there, indicating he's obviously going to go to AEW or because of the bigger money. I get that, but there's still a hell of a lot of wrestlers at AEW that were at the Indies as well. So I don't know, but I'd say more likely WWE. But there are rumors also going around that TNA are up in their money now. That they obviously realize if they're going to keep their top talents or if they're going to attract top talents in, they need to pay the money. You can't tell me they've not paid Nic Nemeth a decent wage.
Oh, of course they have.
He can, because let's face it, he
was so in demand when he was released. People were going fucking crazy.
He's the wanted man. He was the wanted man. And he did. He was. AEW did speak to him as well as other promotions. So I'm sure that if the money was right, Josh would stay. And he could potentially give up his independent dates, etc. I think there is a possibility of that, but I guess we'll just have to. We just have to wait and see on stuff like that. With regards to Jordynne Grace, you've just mentioned a couple of great talents. We've got the returning Kylan King. Is she going to return at Genesis?
I think so.
Could that be her big return at Genesis?
If you've seen any of her recent videos and photos and that of her recovery, she's looking in incredible shape.
She does. She looks fantastic. Yeah. She looks like she's ready to go. She is ready to go. That girl. So that is. That's another possibility, and who knows? If they do sign someone like Maggie Moore, or what's the other one called? Smith?
Jada Stone.
Jada Stone. That's it. I don't know why I was thinking Jada Smith. Oh, Jada Smith is Will Smith's missus, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So,
don't also punch you in the face. You heard me.
We don't want that. We don't want to get a good slapping. But anyway, Mir saying that Speedball should have found out before he left TNA if he couldn't actually wrestle for someone else till January. I don't know what the deal is there, but I think he's saying that there's a clause or something that he can't compete until January or something. I don't know. Anyway, so Eric is stated that he cannot wait for Jessica Havoc and perhaps Crazy Steve to return as well. Maybe they to help Rosemary snap out of her craziness, her funk at the moment. I don't know. Maybe they'll just come and join her and be crazy with her. Let's see a badass return to Decay. Imagine if Decay returns at Genesis. That would be cool.
That'd be really good.
Okay, so lots of stuff going on. So we got Turning Point will take place next weekend at WrestleCade. New matches have been announced today. Josh Alexander versus Steve Maclin in a no DQ. And I believe yesterday it was also announced that the Hardys with Ace Austin will face the Rascalz and Kushida. Interesting, because we're seeing the Hardys and Ace Austin match up this Thursday as well. I've said to you before, I was 100% convinced that the Hardys were going to be putting over ABC.
Yeah,
that was the plan.
Definitely.
Obviously, that plan has had to change now. So what they're looking at doing is putting over Ace by the looks of it in some way, and that's what they're doing at the moment. I think, and because I think. With the match that they've got, Hardys and Ace Austin versus, I'm not sure it is yet. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're facing someone on Thursday.
Yeah, they're facing Hammerstone Jake Something and Trent Seven.
There you go. So they're facing that trio. So they're obviously doing something here with Ace Austin, I think, which is really good.
Yeah,
really good.
We do miss Chris Bay.
The ultimate finesser, your girl's favorite wrestler, Chris Bay.
And of course, if you still want to support Chris, obviously on his recovery, TNA are selling their T-shirts, and all proceeds from that are going to the Chris Bay Fund. And I believe his GoFundMe stuff still going as well.
Yeah, that link.
So go check that out.
Link for the GoFundMe.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, TNA has released all dates leading up to the TNA Plus has released all the dates leading up to the end of January 2025. And here's a look at everything we're delivering this winter for TNA Plus subscribers with the Season of Genesis. That's what they're calling it, the Season of Genesis. You'll experience over 40 hours of TNA TV. And they released all the different dates of all the everything that's going to be on television. You've got 13 episodes of TNA Impact and Xplosion, including the first live in-arena in-ring action on the TNA Impact in 8 years. So that's obviously coming up in January after Genesis. We've got 2 live specials. One groundbreak, so ground specials being Turning Point and Final Resolution. They're going to have one groundbreaking immersed episode taking you behind the scenes of Jordynne Grace versus Masha Slamovich. I believe that's coming out next week, so that should be really good. Of course, you've got the early access to order the TNA Blacksmith collaboration shirts. So as a TNA Plus subscribers, we will get an email, I should imagine, letting us know about all of that. You've got subscriber exclusive rewards, ticket pre-sales, which we know we get because that happened with the Genesis, plus so much more. So being a TNA Plus subscriber has its benefits, right? Yeah! There you go.
Can't put it better than I could.
No. Kurt Angle's got that covered. So really, really good stuff. Really good stuff there. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that. I mean, I'm excited to see what the TNA Blacksmith collaboration shirts are going to be. I mean, I can't wait to see what they come up with. What do you think?
It's some of the stuff that the Blacksmith have released already is amazing. So I think it's just going to be really, really fresh ideas for the TNA shirts because they're all a bit generic at the moment. So it's just that extra company giving them fresh ideas. So I'm really looking forward to this.
I think it's great. I think what's interesting is I remember speaking to, I've forgotten his, I tell you, it's really bad. I've forgotten his name, but the guy from Blacksmith anyway. I was talking to him at one of the Wrestle Carnival shows, not too back end of last year, and he was saying how he contacted AEW to do something similar, like collaboration.
Oh, yeah.
He's done it with New Japan, and now he's doing it with TNA. But he contacted them, and he said literally within a couple of weeks of him speaking to them, they started releasing their own football style shirts. And he's like, "What a prick!" But funny that, isn't it? But again, there's still quite a few talents over there that are Blacksmith talents, so that's really cool. Somerset saying that he loves the immersed, but not using the footage Impact episodes seems amiss to me, especially when some of the builds could be somewhat better. I get what you're saying, but I think that the whole idea of the immersed is exclusively kind of like a backstage thing, so it shouldn't really necessarily be footage
from the matches.
Yeah, exactly. So
it doesn't. It's a documentary made by a third party, basically. So
exactly. Although George Barboza is part of the TV team, etc. He does some fantastic work when it comes to stuff like that. So I like the Diary series as well.
Yeah, I do. I think they're good.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Football, not football. What are you talking about, dude? Okay, what is going on with PCO? What is going on with PCO? Basically, since Steph got injured, he's just like there's nothing going on. He's walking around with 2 belts on each, with a belt on each shoulder, and we're doing nothing with him. Now, I appreciate that. Obviously, everything they sort of kind of had planned is been screwed up.
Yeah.
But for me, Matt Cardona should have won those titles, man. He should have won those titles, and now be carrying those titles. If you ask me,
all right, at least give Matt Cardona the Digital Media Championship back, and have
Not
the
because,
radio
I mean,
kid and Kushida could have had matches against him by now.
I mean, talking about Matt Cardona, the bottom line is he's got a new TNA shirt and everything. New TNA
Yeah,
shirt.
I've seen
So
it. That's fantastic.
And he's promoting all of that stuff. So he's obviously, he's obviously going to be around for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think from a creative point of view, they need to do better.
Yeah, they need to wait. Otherwise, the championships, the digital media title has just become a flop at the moment. They need to get
It's just a second thought. They built it right up.
Yeah.
They had built it up to be more than what it necessarily is, and now they've just basically fucked all of that hard work up.
Yeah.
Which is a real, for me, it's a bit of a shame because I mean, both those titles could have been really good secondary titles if they used them properly. I mean, they've got that Canadian one now or whatever it was. Was it called? I've forgotten.
Off the top of my head, honestly can't remember.
See, that's what I mean. I've completely forgotten what the thing was called. I've not seen it for the last, pretty much since, I don't know, for at least 3. I'm not even seen it for what, 2 months. You know what I mean? So I just completely forgotten what it's called. It's like World Wrestling Championship or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, they're definitely, they need to do better with regards to this because that's suddenly gone all quiet and just stupid, in my opinion. Anyway, let's talk about Xplosion.
Okay.
From the Vault, Desmond Wolfe versus Kurt Angle.
Wow, what a match.
25 minutes of badassery. Again, they were featuring that match because it was a classic turning point match. But what a match that was. I mean, Nigel McGuinness, obviously Desmond Wolfe, absolutely credible wrestler. Nigel, credible wrestler. And when you put him in with the incredible Kurt Angle, I mean, you've just got pure gold, haven't you?
Oh, it's fantastic. You got poetry in motion.
That's it. Poetry in motion. Badass fucking wrestling. It was good. It was just really good stuff. And I don't generally, I'm not going to lie, I don't generally watch the Vault stuff, but as soon as I realised who it was, I was like, oh man, I'm watching this.
Yeah. I've never seen the match, so it caught my attention, and fucking no, I really enjoyed it.
That was Kurt Angle at his best and Desmond Wolfe at his best.
Yeah. Wow.
Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Then we get Gia Miller going around the ring, of course, with one of the guys on our poster this week, Alan Angels.
Yeah, second time he's been with Gia Miller now.
There you go. That was his second one. They were having a conversation about his mo. And of course, it's Movember, isn't it? So everyone should be growing their moustaches during this month. It is Movember for charity and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, he's got a mustache now. I personally prefer him with a beard. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a mustache guy. I think just mustaches look stupid. But you've got to have a beard. I think if you're going to have facial hair, it's a beard, not a mustache, in my opinion. Right, but anyway, but he's got
mustaches. You think cowboys?
Well, I don't know.
Or the stereotypical southern, like Kentucky and all that.
I think Blue Oyster Club. That's what I think.
Yeah.
When I see mustaches,
handlebar mustaches.
I'm waiting for assless leather chaps and mustaches, and that's what I see. But anyway, so that was quite good though. It was interesting. And then Zaya Brookside picks up a very impressive win. I must admit, she looked very impressive versus Maggie Moore, who is the bigger opponent and actually got really long legs, but is an incredible talent herself. And we've already hit it earlier.
Yeah.
When we said Maggie Moore, the Jada Stone, 2 talents that we think should be on the knockout roster.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've seen them
about 4, it's been about 4 times since we've seen Jada Stone now. And this is about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Maggie Moore.
Yeah, I think they deserve a contract, if you ask me. But it was a really, really good thing. I'm a bit disappointed we're going back to the one fresh match again format. But I mean, they're obviously it's difficult, I think, to tape the amount of matches they need to tape to keep 2 fresh matches on there, I guess.
One thing I do hope, we have any time Zaya Brookside's in a match now. I hope we have Gia Miller on commentary, because Gia on commentary throughout that match was brilliant. She was so excited for everything that Zaya Brookside was doing. Almost she tried to hide how biased, because she's such good friends with her, but she was on fire with everything she was doing. So really entertaining.
Well, the reality is she was great. Zaya was great in that match.
Zaya was incredible. Gia Miller just going absolutely batshit crazy over everything was really, really good fun to listen to.
Yeah,
I can't wait for them both to go around the ring for a third time.
Who knows? They may do. You never know. Okay, so let's talk about Impact. Let's have a little recap through Impact. So Santana versus Casey Navarro. And it doesn't take very long for AJ Francis to provide a distraction, as you would expect, allowing Navarro to take out Santana with a dive to the floor. Back in the ring, Santana regains control with a sit-down powerbomb for 2. Santana puts Navarro away with the STB, spin and block. Good match. Really good match. Casey Navarro is really so good. And again, a great signing for TNA. Since he's come in, he's slotted into first class beautifully. He's been putting on some great performances in the ring, and this was no exception. I think even on the night, Mike Santana put out a tweet saying this guy is incredible.
Yeah.
And he's getting better and better, which is great. So yeah, no, this was a really, really good match. Did you enjoy it, Joe?
I loved it. This was incredible. It's just Casey Navarro is another level. It reminds me of when Ace Austin came in. He was just one of these guys you knew was someone special, and my God, is he backing it up?
Yeah, I mean, there is no doubt about that. So we've got basically we've had 2 of the latest signings, you could say, going one-on-one, having a fantastic match. You could see why they were signed. You could see exactly why they signed these guys. Fantastic stuff. We then go backstage. Gia Miller is interviewing TNA World Champion Nic Nemeth, and of course his brother Ryan Nemeth, ahead of their prospective matchups against Brian Myers and Joe Hendry tonight. So what did you think of this backstage moment, Joe? I thought it was a bit lackluster, to be honest. Ryan needs more work, shall we say, when it comes to these kind of segments. What do you think?
Yeah, he seemed a bit out of his comfort zone, which is a bit of a shame. Because Nic Nemeth is incredible backstage, but obviously he's trying not to upstage his brother too much and make it all seem too one-sided. I don't know, but with Ryan Nemeth being so pissed off at Joe Hendry, you would have thought there'd been a bit more fire and emotion.
I mean,
it's just summed it up perfectly.
Ryan Nemeth, Nick's brother. The end. Yeah, there you go. I mean, he's obviously been brought in as a favor to. He's got talent in the ring. You cannot say the guy cannot wrestle because
he's a brilliant wrestler.
He's a great wrestler, but he just needs a bit more refining, I think. And I think that's why actually he's probably a good fit for TNA, because they will do that.
Yeah.
And they will give him opportunities and they will help him thrive. So we'll just see. We'll see how it pans out. But he just needs a little bit more work, I think, backstage and promo stuff. Then we get Trent Seven confronts the Hardys and Ace Austin backstage, leading to a blindside assault from Hammerstone and Jake Something. Again, I didn't see that coming. I had no idea why they went with that, but it's happened, and it's led to what is led to going on this week, this Thursday on Thursday Night Impact. So we'll see where that one goes as well. Now, facing off against the new duo of Alan Angels and, of course, our boy Jake Crist. Miguel responds off the ropes and hits Angels with a German suplex to create separation. Angels drags Wentz to the outside and trips up Miguel on the top. Chris connects with the cutter, as always, one of the best cutters in the business, on Miguel, followed by a splash from Angels. Wentz finishes off Angels with feed him to the Lions as Miguel scores the pinfall. Now, that's quite a short obviously run up of the match. The match was actually very good. I thought that Angels and Jake gelled really, really well. I think they gelled really
amazing.
Well. They were a really good tag team.
I was blown away by how good they were together. And this being the first time they've ever teamed up together, I was like, wow.
This is the thing. I did say to you guys last week that I'd spoken to Jake. And he said that literally they threw them together on the day. They'd not actually, they've never tagged before. They'd obviously just had a bit of a chat. But I think that goes to show how good like a 20-year vet like Jake is. And that's not taking anything away from Alan, not at all. But he's a young lad. And I think, going in with a vet, former X Division champion, the Golden Jaw himself, was probably a really good thing to do. I know that Jake said that they had a lot of good praise backstage, and I believe from what I can gather and what I've seen online as well, this has now led to Alan and Jake teaming up at Wrestling Revolver.
Yes.
So I think potentially this is moving forward. We could see Angels and Crist, as a not necessarily a permanent tag team, but certainly as a more predominant tag team.
Yeah,
Go on, Joe. Sorry.
So that's the thing. That'd be fantastic, and if they stick around for TNA for a bit longer, or come back in January as a fresh tag team to go through TNA for a while, that would be brilliant too. But
they just need a name. I think they need a name. I don't like these teams that are just like Alan Angels and Jake Crist. Okay.
Yeah.
We need
you need a tagline.
We do. We need to get something to get the people interested in them. Like you say, you couldn't just have Jody Threat and Danny Luna. You had to come up with something, and they come up with Spitfire. So it was always there. Same with Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovich. You put them together, but you've got to kind of exude a tag team. Like Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, as individuals, make the Motor City Machine Guns. So
James Holm and Chris Harris, we can go on now forever and ever a day.
The Hardy Boys, we're all in there. The Lucha Brothers, they're not their own individual names. The top teams, they've got to have a name. So let's see what they come up with. It would be interesting. I was spitballing with Jake on the text the other day, and I was throwing loads of ideas at him. Let's see where it goes. Let's see what they come up with. I'm sure they'll come up with something really cool, and I hope that takes that forward. I really do. What would Joker and the Bison tag team name be? Let me have a think. I don't know. Not even ever thought about it.
No, I know.
Got any ideas, Joe?
I don't know. I'll just do something the WWE does. We'll just be Team TNI and be some bland thing like that.
TNI, maybe not. I think let me have a think. I'll have a think on that one, Mia, and I'll come back to you. Now, facing off. So we've just talked about obviously Jake and Alan. I think they were a great team, and I hope to see a lot more of them in the future. Knockouts World Tag Team Champions Spitfire. We were just talking about them. Send a warning to Ash and Heather by Elegance. I love these kind of like promo vignette things that Spitfire do. I think they're really good. They're really well produced. I'm hoping obviously Joris Barbosa has something to do with it, because they seem very well put together. Let's put it that way. Now we then get the Northern Armory battles a trio, of course, of adversaries, and Steve Maclin, Jonathan Gresham, and Eric Young. Alexander gets planted by Young with the Young Blood net breaker. Young attacks Judas, Icarus, and Travis Williams on the apron, but that allows Alexander to connect with a series of German suplexes. The Northern Armory wipe out Gresham with a flurry of coordinated offense, culminating with the sudden silence. Alexander is caught in the crosshairs, but an incensed Maclin prevents Young from hitting the follow-up elbow drop. Alexander pushes Maclin into Young, knocking him off the apron. Alexander puts Maclin away with a C4 spike to get the win. Now, We don't in that sort of sum up. We don't mention like the start of the match where basically Josh was throwing the Sinner and Saint boys to the wolves basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was an interesting way. He didn't want anything to do with Maclin at that point. He wanted his Northern Armory boys to soften him up, I think.
Yeah.
But
like all great leaders, they let the youngins have their fun first.
You got to let the grunts, take the heat, and
yeah.
So it was a good match.
match.
Yeah, it was a very, very good match. I really enjoyed it. I think that they're doing a good job at the moment. My only worry is, like I say, if Josh Alexander does leave, it's almost like, what is the point in creating this group if they're just gonna basically, what's the point in building it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing it does do is it brings Sinner and Saint right into the spotlight of every company out there now.
It shows them off a little bit, I guess.
Josh Alexander is one of the most sought after and talked about wrestlers on the planet, and one of the greatest to lace him up at the moment. So if anyone's associated with him, they're going to be a huge talking point for people who really know the business.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. I mean, it's certainly a good way of going about it. But it does seem that they're sort of kind of trying to create a faction, and then for their leader to just suddenly disappear, I think would suck.
Yeah,
Can I just say a quick hello to Pro Wrestling Culture,
hello,
who has joined us, and we appreciate the accolade there, mate. Thank you very, very much. Rhino tells Frankie Kazarian that he doesn't need the Call Your Shot trophy to prove that he can beat him. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what.
Can he actually say that?
Yeah,
that threw me through a loop when Kazarian said that. I must admit that got me laughing.
I just love Rhino. He just comes in and he's just brutal and then fucks off. Comes in, acts brutal and then fucks off. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so again, that's going to lead to one of the matches we've got this Thursday. Steve Maclin then tells Director of Authority Santino Marella that his issues with John Alexander are far from over. Maclin argues with Eric Young over who is to blame for their loss earlier tonight. And one significant thing that a lot of people didn't pick up on the night was at that point, Eric turns to Maclin and says, "You need to take a long, hard look at yourself."
Yeah.
Anyway, so that sort of kind of happens at that point. Now, before the match begins, Joe Hendry continues to poke fun at Ryan Nemeth by unveiling the director's cut of the Ryan Nemeth story. He's Nic Nemeth's brother. The end. Ryan attacks Hendry before the bell and the match is on. Ryan is distracted by the crowd, allowing Hendry to turn the tide. Hendry hits the fallaway slam, followed by a one-handed standing ovation for the win. So, in fairness, although Ryan did get a little bit of offense in here, it was a pretty much dominating performance from Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Which, of course, is exactly what we want to see. He's starting from the bottom. He's going to work his way up. We want to see Joe in dominating fashion from now on. That's what we want to see. So that was the end of that. That was all over and done with. After severing ties with NXT's Wendy Chu last week, the demonic Rosemary is in action against Jada Stone. And we were talking about Jada earlier, saying that we think that she would be a great addition to the roster. But Rosemary locks in the upside down to do serious damage to her opponent. Stone gains the momentary advantage, but Rosemary quickly shuts her down with a spear. Rosemary hits as above, so below to score the victory. Now, again, what we were seeing here is a real strong kind of showing from Rosemary.
Yeah. She's almost let the demonic personality completely take over again.
Yeah, that's what we saw there. But again, like we were saying, Jada Stone was great. She's going to be, if they want to bring in a couple of talents to fill up that roster a little bit, they are good. They're the ones. That's what they need.
Yeah.
Jada Stone, Maggie Moore. Let's get these girls signed up and build them up. That's all I got to say. Earlier tonight, the system held a special ring presentation ceremony, so we got to see that. I was waiting for loads of people to start moaning online actually about that because
it was TNA exclusive, in TNA Plus exclusive.
Yeah, but didn't they do? I don't know. Didn't WWE do something with rings at Crown Jewel? I heard.
Oh yeah, but that's like the Super Bowl ring. You win that. It's just to show you've won some special event at the Crown Jewel. It doesn't mean anything else.
Okay.
Right. This is the system showing that they are a united unit, and almost like the power. When I saw 5 of them put their hands together out like that, the first thing that went through my mind was "Go Power Rangers."
Yeah, Power Rangers. They look like Power Rangers as well.
Oh, bloody Captain Planet.
I know what you're saying. Definitely. Right. So, moving on. Alicia Edwards appears at the top of the ramp and claims that her tag team loss to Masha Slamovich last week was a fluke. Speaking of the champ, she's confronted by Slamovich, who promises to prove Alicia wrong in a no disqualification match for the Knockouts World title next week. Jordynne Grace then reveals that she will receive her contractual obligated rematch at Turning Point. So at Turning Point, she's going to get a rematch regardless of who's holding the title.
So looking forward to this.
I'm actually gutted by this, I'm going to say. I think they should have held this one out to a final resolution. But, you know, maybe a number one contender match or first defense should have been at Turning Point, but against Alicia, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. You want to know something? Oh my God. As much as we love Alicia, come on. We need to not hear that.
I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Well, there you go. There you go. Somerset Slam, making room for Blanchard. Well, we'll see.
She's already said she's got no interest in coming back. So
she has, but but money talks, baby. Money talks. Money talks.
Yeah, I've said it before. I
need you. Oh.
I've said it before. I'd be pleased to see her back again. You know, and brush everything aside and just start again. You know, I would be really pleased to see her back again. But she has said loads of times she's got no interest at the moment in coming back. So
I told you this before. If the money's right, all of a sudden they have interest. So you know, I never take any heed by when they turn around and say shit like that. All it means is that nobody's spoken to them at this moment in time. But there you go. Hopefully, I'd like to see Tessa Black. I really would.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He wouldn't say something about you, but he still did. There you go. Anyway, Ryan Nemeth is in bad shape following his match with Joe Hendry and will be unable to accompany his brother to ringside. Frankie Kazarian confronts Nic Nemeth ahead of tonight's main event. That's what we got at that moment. Can't be a good confrontation from Frankie Kazarian, can we?
No, to me it looked like someone had taken Ryan Nemeth out, and Nemeth was saying it was Joe Hendry, but I don't know. I think it could have been Kazarian, it could have been Dirty Dango or JDC or someone like that. I don't know. Someone's playing mind games with Nemeth.
Mind games. Sure. Can't beat the mind games. Right. Joe Hendry joins Tom Hannafan and Matthew Rabel on commentary for tonight's main event between TNA World Champion Nic Nemeth and, of course, the System's Brian Myers. Myers immediately retreats to the outside, goading Nick into a chase on the floor. Myers gains control as Eddie attacks Nick while the referee is distracted. Eddie tries to get involved again, but this time he's caught leading to his ejection from ringside. Spot on. Myers sends Nick crashing into the steel steps. Now it's Alicia who assaults Nick on the floor. Minutes later, Nemeth counters the roster. Cut into a famouser. Alicia cracks Nick in the back with a kendo stick, prompting Hendry to leave commentary and carry her to the back. Terrible behavior. Nic capitalizes, of course, with the danger zone to get the win. Now, I thought this match was pretty good, man. Brian Myers is so underrated as an in-ring performer, as a heel. He's so good.
He is fantastic.
And this match I thought was pretty solid, and I really enjoyed it. I wish people would give Brian Myers a little bit more credit.
Yeah, all I can say is WWE gave these guys 7 seconds. TNA gave these guys about 15 minutes or so, and absolutely knocked out of the park with this match.
I think so. I think it was a really solid match, and I was expecting it to be a good match as well.
Yeah. And I loved how it started off with the super kick coming and Myers this time ducking out the ring, so almost rubbing it in the face of what happened at WWE.
Yeah,
that was little callbacks like that were always make me smile. So that was brilliant, because some man of them was like, he's gonna get him. Oh no, he's gone. Like some man of them was wanting it over in 7 seconds or less.
Yeah.
That was a bit harsh.
Oh, look at that. Craig's joined us. Finally, Craig has come back to TNI. After the match, Nic Nemeth is jumped by his challenger at Turning Point. Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers joins the fray until Joe Hendry evens the odds with a kendo stick. Hendry
he takes the backstage and Nick's Kendra. That's kidnapping.
Exactly. That's what he did. That's terrible. Hendry comes close to striking Nick, but holds back at the last second. And as it sort of kind of then goes off air, we then sort of kind of go to a clip of Steve Maclin, who is seen driving his car away from the impact zone, shall we say. And then Impact goes off air. Now, the reality here is a lot of people are like, oh, what was that all about? Blah, blah, blah. Well, he's going off to find himself, as I think was after his conversation with EY earlier in the night. I think, he's then thought, you know what, I think I need to go and find myself. So he's gone off to find himself in the car. What's this? He's taking the cameraman home. There you go. He could have been. Yeah, he could have been taking the cameraman home. You're right. But I like the way they end shows slightly differently sometimes. I thought this was a good way to end the show. Left everybody. The last person they saw was Maclin, which is great because Maclin is great.
He's getting a big push next year. He's getting a huge push next year.
I agree, and he deserves it as well. He deserves a push. In whatever shape or form that is, he deserves a push. See, for me, he's a sort of guy that if he was to go against, he should go against PCO, win those 2 titles, and he would make those titles good. Yeah.
Maclin's he's one of the ones that's got all the tools in the box. He's not had a bad match since he's come in. His promo work is incredible.
He's one of the best when it comes to like the video vignette stuff.
Yeah. Even his teasers, the teaser trailers that they set up for him when he was coming in, they were absolutely amazing. They had you gripped from there. You thought this guy is going to be someone really special, and he has backed it up all the way.
Oh, I agree. I think he's fantastic, and I really hope that they give him what he's due, because I think he's a fantastic talent. And I've always said he gives me Stone Cold Steve Austin vibes. He's always done that. From the very first time I saw him, he's given me that. The way his voice
doesn't take shit from anybody type attitude.
No, he's just a total badass, like ass kicking machine.
Yeah.
And that's what Stone Cold was all about. Even from like his sound of his voice, the way he promos, the way he holds himself, even the look.
Yeah.
Is very Stone Cold. And all we need to do now is grow a decent goatee beard, shave his head completely, and we've got Stone Cold Steve Austin take 2. But no, he's great. He's great. A hell of a person a hell of a person to look up to. But there you go. And Black Trunks, believable, same first name. Well, there you go. No, I honestly believe he's like Steve Austin. I've just got those vibes from the very, very first time I saw him. Okay, so let's talk about this Thursday, or as I like to call it, Thursday Night Impact. Let's talk about that. So we've got Masha versus Alicia in a no DQ for the Knockouts title. Masha should absolutely destroy Alicia Evans if she doesn't. This needs to be done in 3 minutes.
It's going to be a bit more than 3 minutes. We're going to have Tasha Steelz. We're going to have Jordynne Grace. We're probably going to have Spitfire come out. We never know, but it's going to be interference. There's going to be foul play, although there's no DQ. But it's going to be a bit of everything we've seen before, but with weapons allowed.
Maybe. I just think she needs to just absolutely destroy her to show how dominant she's going to be. That's my thoughts. We've got the Hardys and Ace Austin. Now, we were talking about this earlier, versus Hammerstone Something and of course Trent Seven.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's again. I mean, it's great to see the Hardys. Like, no matter what happens, it's always good to see the Hardys. They've taken Ace Austin under their wing, and the learning tree, shall we say? He's on the Hardys learning tree. It would be good. I'll tell you what would be really cool is if we got to see Ace playing a part in some kind of Hardy compound stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'd love to see that.
And it's
Vanguard won the glasses, Ace Austin's glasses.
Yes, that would be awesome. Also, it's good to see Hammerstone and Something getting, obviously tag in. Obviously, we've added Trent Seven into this, but it's good to see those guys getting some action.
Yeah, I caught up with their match from the week before, like I said I would do, against Pipin Daguja and Jace and Jack Price. They are absolutely incredible as a team. That was incredible. That match from Xplosion a couple of weeks ago that they had, that was amazing.
Somerset Slammer, put that comment up. That's funny. What's the point in turning heel a month before Xmas when you look like Santa? I agree.
Bad Santa.
Exactly, bad Santa. Yeah, totally. We've also got Frankie Kazarian versus Rhino. Of course, Rhino was telling Frankie to fuck off earlier. So there's that. And then we've also got Jody Threat versus Ash by Elegance. So we didn't get many women on the show really last week, but we're getting a couple of matches this week, which is great to see. So 2 male matches, 2 female matches, which is great. I think there'll be one other match which gets made on the night. It'd be interesting to see whether that turns out to be male or female. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But what do you think of this week's lineup?
I like it. It's all setting up things for Turning Point brilliantly. We're going to get the Knockouts Tag Team title match announced probably by the end of the week. Stings and Frankie Kazarian and Rhino might continue on into Turning Point too. Something might happen there. Kazarian might even end up putting his Koya shot trophy on the line or something like that in arrogance if he beats Rhino this week or something. But still, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Hardys and Ace Austin work together. So
am I actually. I think that's an interesting dynamic there.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that the young buck is going to get most of the.
Ace Austin's the young goat. He's one of the greatest of all time, and he's so early in his career.
He is awesome. He is awesome. But listen, guys, that's pretty much all we got time for this week. Also, if you want to show your support for TNI UK team, please feel free to super sticker us or head over to prowrestlingtees.com/total nonstop impact. There's some great shirts, or head over to our exclusive Spreadshirt merch store. Links, of course, are below. I'm actually in the works on creating a new design. I want to do a new 3-man booth shirt, which of course will include a caricature of our Limpster crate, which would, I think, be really, really cool. All TNI shows are available to all you Listen on the Go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Where can we find you on the social media, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptySpace. You can look for #EmptySpace, #Into the Void, or if you fancy a particular taste with #DailyGiggle. But approach them in mind, and you might keep your sanity on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And you'll find me all across the world there. Just all you got to do is look for those 3 hashtags and see what random shit comes up.
Oh, man. I cannot believe Craig's not throwing loads of sanities in the chat right now.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, okay, so with regards to all the TNI shows, you can find us obviously on all the socials at We Talk Impact. That would be on the Instagram, that would be on the Facebook, and of course X. Make sure that you go and add us on all those social medias. That would be fantastic. There he is. He's made it. He's made it. And if you want to find out more about myself, at Lord Bison 45 is on the X, and on the TikTok at Bison by Design. So go and make sure that you add me or follow me on all of those. That would be really much appreciated. Please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, and of course, a smash to never miss any of the great TNI UK and US teams content coming out each and every single week. With all that said, I, of course, have been Bison, and he has been the one and only Joker. And this has been episode 207 of Impacted. Take care, guys.